right, everyone. Welcome back to the kokopop.podcast.
Hey, friends.
Hello.
We're back, and we're starting off a big series of episodes, you guys.
So excited.
I'm so nervous.
Do you have your yarn chart ready, Caitlin?
Oh, God. Not yet. But I did relocate my recording space into the children's playroom, which has a large corkboard. So I could do that.
I love it. Claire, that's what, like on detective shows where they have a bulletin board with like pictures and letters and crime scene photos and then like yarn, like stringing all the evidence together.
Yes,
sure
it's that NCI's web.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, I on NCI or any of the other crime shows, they're like, link all of these culprits together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so curious to know if there's an official term for that. I always call it a yarn chart. I don't know what the real term is. And I don't know if we want to sidetrack
Probably
this early.
No, but I'll look into it. I'll ask one of the, scratch that. I'll look into it. I'll figure it out.
Okay, so, back to what we were talking about. So today we are kicking off our big NCT series, and I'm not talking about NCT just 127, you guys. I'm talking about everything under the NCT Corporation.
Who knew there was so much?
There is so much. So get ready. This is going to be a good one. So NCT is another group under SM Entertainment. So just like EXO, NCT is one of their products, which means it's going to be very polished and very professional. So we know that going in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a kind of an interesting concept. It's something a little different, dreamt up from the CEO of SM Entertainment, this neoculture technology movement that he came up with. That's what NCT stands for, is neoculture technology. And it basically is a term that just describes the group's concept of having an unlimited number of members. And then they're all divided into multiples like subunits based on various cities worldwide. So this could be just the start of NCT, you guys, because it's a relatively new thing.
Oh my gosh. The sheer idea of that, just spawning bands, spawning members is almost too much for me.
It's pretty nuts. So there are currently, technically, 4 subunits of NCT and a total of 21 members.
Is this officially the largest group of all time?
It's gotta be. I mean, I don't know of any other ones. So
I mean, I wonder if a group like ELO, where it was the Electric Light Orchestra, counted.
Manhattan Steam.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
Mannheim Steamroller? Manhattan.
Yes.
I almost said Manhattan Steamroller too.
Manhattan Steamheimer?
Ah, yes! The infamous Manhattan Steamheimer.
I love their Christmas album.
Do they have an album other than Christmas albums?
I want to buy that
Probably.
website. I'm going to try to see if it's available on GoDaddy after we're done
Manhattan
recording.
Steamheimer?
Manhattan Steamheimer. Do you think that Mannheim Steamroller would sue me if I bought the rights to Manhattan?
Oh my gosh.
No, because it's not even the correct mix-up of their names.
It's close, but oh so far away from the original. I don't think they could touch it.
Oh, man. I'm working on genius mode over here, guys. Get ready for an exciting show.
No, I love it. Manhattan Steamheimer is going to be my Mannheim Steamroller cover
I
band.
just love the word Steamheimer.
What are you from, Dusseldorf? Or Manhattan Steamheimer? I don't know. It's something about it. Just, oh gosh. So, yeah. I don't even know where we were at before that.
You're welcome.
So, 21 members, all ranging from their late teens to their mid-20s. And honestly, especially when we get to NCT Dream, prepare to feel very old, you guys. So
I'm hoping that is like NCT U for the oldies, the ones that are it's like NCT for seniors.
it's like NCT unassisted living.
Exactly.
So the answer is no. And I guess now is a good time to kind of just talk about the subunits themselves, right? So
Yeah.
the first subunit that debuted was NCT U. Now, NCT U is kind of almost like a project subunit. So at any given time, based on which members are available, which voices fit the song that they want to produce, they will pick and choose members from the other 3 subunits to participate in NCT U. It'll produce that song, do some promotion with it, and then fade back away. And then maybe, I don't know, a month later, a couple months later, there'll be another new NCTU project, and it'll be another hodgepodge of maybe different members, maybe some of the same, maybe just 2 of the members. It just sort of depends on the situation. I guess how they're feeling that day, that's what they go with. So that's not a permanent group or a permanent subunit fixed or anything like that. It evolves or revolves or rotates or any one of those activities, depending on what they need to do.
If you were a fan, it's sort of like, what season are you a fan of? You're like, I'm a fan of NCT Dream, but the early stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you get to be a hipster, like judgy person, just even within the same group.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else you would differentiate when there's a revolving, evolving members, and it seems like it's an all new thing, you know?
Fair point.
You know, when
Fair
you lose one member and you get a new one, is it technically a new group, a new subunit, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, it's commonly referred to as a subunit, but that might be a little strong of a word. It's almost more of just like a little project unit that pops up when they need it. And if that helps kind of frame NCTU in your mind, feel free to call it whatever you want. But just that general concept of there are no set members like assigned to NCTU. It can be it could be 2, it could be different ones every single time of the 21.
I'm going to think of them as the pop-up shop of groups.
Yep, there you go. Perfect. That is the best way to describe it, I think.
Good job.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
But like I said, NCTU was that first quote-unquote subunit to debut. So that was back on April 9th, 2016. And one of the first songs we will listen to, I believe we'll get to it today, that's The Seventh Sense, which is a really great song. I think you guys will like it.
I'm curious what the 7th sense is, because the 6th sense is also a little bit, I don't know, hard to describe.
So maybe it's
the
not
sixth
seeing
sense?
dead people. Maybe it's seeing people who are dead inside.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, that actually might be it, because as you will sort of see, one of the lines in it is it's like telling somebody to like open their eyes. So maybe that's.
God, I'm so good at this.
Are you a secret NCT fan, Caitlin?
I just have a 7th sense.
Yeah, I guess so. On that note, I don't know what the 6th sense is. What is commonly referred to as the 6th sense, though, for real? Is that like supposed to be ESP or something?
It's like a feeling of things that are extra, like kind of paranormal.
Oh,
Claire, what did you think it was?
God, wow, I didn't even know that. I thought it was just more like heightened sense of, like a super sense, maybe.
I was like, all
Yeah,
senses.
it's like having a feeling about something that's otherwise, like you can't see it, you can't touch it. It's like I have a 6th sense that something's happening and I can't point to what it is, you know. So maybe paranormal's not right.
It's
but
like
the movie The Sixth Sense is when Bruce Willis is the dead person and the little kid says, "I see dead people."
Oh,
True.
good point.
That's the sense that people are looking for.
I get all my information from Hollywood movies from like the early 2000s, or was that late 90s?
Oh gosh, I think it was late 90s. I'm gonna look this up.
I should've
We
known.
must know.
Maybe we should look up the 6th sense at the same time. Carlson about it. Did he?
I don't know. It's been too long.
Did Beyonce write a song about it? No? Okay, damn it. Our level of knowledge is wiped out then.
It came right at the cusp in August 6th, 1999.
Dong.
Well, now we need a definition. We need to Google Sixth Sense, I think.
Ooh, can I say? All right. It says an ability that some people believe they have that. Oh gosh, this is not edited correctly online. An ability that some people believe they have that seems to give them information without using the 5 senses of sight, hearing, touch, smell, or taste. A 6th sense told me that the train was going to crash. So it's an extrasensory perception or telepathy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's totally what I said.
Yeah, I mean, really, pretty much. Is that like if you have rheumatoid arthritis and you know it's going to rain? I mean, based on the definition you read, Oh, no, but is that does that fall in one of the other sentences? I don't know. I'm not a smart man. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I think so, because it falls under extrasensory perception.
Excellent. I wonder, do me a favor real quick. Look up Seventh Sense and see if there's anything out there, or if just the NCT video pops up. I'm curious.
Yes, I'm on it. Okay, Seventh Sense. Just the NCT U.
They coined it for themselves.
Good job, guys.
Oh, wait. Okay. Just kidding.
Wow.
If you go a little bit below all the NCT stuff. So the Seventh Sense is the first category of senses. Oh, shit. Sorry, I need to read this. Oh, no, this is a bunch of gobbledygook. I think they sort of say it's part of lump it under touch. So it's an extra heightened perception of pressure, heat, or pain.
Wow.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna go here because there's we're going to NCT and there's subunits of NCT. I'm gonna say the Seventh Sense is a subunit of touch.
Oh, dang.
Damn.
Like how you tied it together.
That was so smooth.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was good. Well, shall we move on to the next subunit?
None of this is making it into the podcast.
Oh, it's all going in. All of it.
This is a special edition. No cuts, no edit.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what would happen if we did. We'll have to see. Anyway, well, hey, so after NCT U, of course, comes NCT 127 or 127. People say it both ways. You can choose your own adventure on that one.
But is it to the 127th power?
Ooh, I wish. Because maybe that's how many numbers they'll get to. But NCT 127, the number 127, represents the longitudinal. Is that a word? The longitudinal coordinates of Seoul. Or just coordinate, not coordinates.
Oh. Well, that's actually kind of nifty. Yeah. I like that little factoid.
It's longitudinal. I feel like something about that word just strikes me as not a real thing. I mean, I know longitude, don't get me wrong. But what? Longitudinal? It sounds, maybe the way it looks like when it's spelled out, it looks weird to me. Anyway, the longitudinal coordinates of Seoul.
So longitude is, well, you know what longitude is. So I'm going to stop.
Do we know what longitude is?
It's either the one that goes this way and that way or up and down.
Up and down.
There you go.
Longitude is long and latitude is fatitude.
Hey, I want to know what the fatitude of Seoul is right now. Because what would the name have been if they used... Well, first off, the longitudinal coordinate of Seoul is saying it's 126.97. So
they rounded up.
First,
they cheated.
I'd like to file a lawsuit.
We're filing claims for misrepresentation.
Yeah, but you have to be buying something.
Oh, I'm buying into this band.
That's right.
But for the correct longitudinal name on the record, would you have not enjoyed this band?
I have a question.
You're damn right.
If I had based buying a ticket to the coordinates, the longitudinal coordinates of 127, how far off would I be from Seoul?
I'm totally curious, but before I click off the screen, I'm going to tell you that the latitude of Seoul is 37.5665. So it would have been NCT 37.5665. So I think they did the right thing by going with the longitudinal coordinate. But now I'm going to see what the longitudinal coordinate of 127 is. Where is it exactly? Where would it take you? Oh, so on latlong.net, it says that Seoul, South Korea is 127. So maybe that many degrees difference is not that great. So it's still within the greater Seoul metropolitan area.
Well, that's good then. Yeah. Then I take back all my claims against.
You wouldn't be in like North Korea.
Oh.
But what if, Caitlin? What if I bought a ticket and it was North Korea? Could I sue then? Or would I still have some sort of personal responsibility? It
depends. It depends on how explicit they were about where the concert was actually to be held, or how much of an idiot you were for just relying on the name of the band or the song.
Let's assume that it's travel. Because I'm an idiot.
Then yes, shit out of luck.
I feel like many people have won cases claiming like I'm too stupid for what you were trying to tell me, and
That's
I got
products
injured.
liability, and that's not this case.
Oh,
That's not
well.
contracts.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Fart.
All right.
Anyway, so NCT 127 was the next to debut just a few months after NCT U, July 7th, 2016, and their first song is Fire Truck, their first lead single, I should say. They originally debuted with 7 members, but now are currently sitting at 9 members. So they've already grown even since 2016.
What are they trying to do to me?
Make it as difficult as possible, and maybe it's all like a long con to sell more yarn. It's like big yarn is trying to get you to like do more yarn charts.
SM Entertainment is actually totally boosted by the yarn corporations.
You heard it here first. The people must know.
That would be a whole new protest for SM. Now that all the NCT Dream controversy ran its course, we'll have a big SM Entertainment and international yarn manufacturers.
Down with big yarn.
It's a cartel or something. I don't know.
Ooh, I could make a really nerdy legal joke right now.
Do it.
Lay it on us.
I was just going to talk about it must be the EU, and it must be sheep wool that was not treated in the way that the EU commands, so that they can't just go through the normal trade route. So there's got to be a backdoor black market cartel to sell the wool.
Is that for real?
No, that's not a real thing.
Oh,
But
I was
that
gonna
is-
say.
But the EU
We
has
might be
tight
onto
restrictions,
something,
and
y'all.
you can't.
Starts off as a joke and then it goes into full-on conspiracy theory.
Like they're on to us. Oh man. Well, hey, so let's move on to the next group. And that's NCT Dream, the Dreamies. These are the babies of the group, you guys.
Aw, baby spices.
If you're a fan, are you actually called a dreamy? Kind of like a blink?
I'm sure I've heard of that. I don't think I just came up with something like that all on my own. But the official fandom name for all of NCT, the Seasonies. And so it's pronounced like Seasonies. So I realized I told Caitlin the wrong thing on one of our last episodes, and I made her really frustrated because I was spelling it wrong anyway. But I was way off.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah,
The
so hopefully you didn't totally like commit that to memory, Caitlin, because I was wrong.
I don't even remember that conversation,
Oh,
so we're good.
And Citizens one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember that.
Well,
I think we should start tweeting them that seasonies they should consider dreamies too
Oh yeah.
for subunits.
So
Aw.
NCT Dream was a group that we discussed very briefly on that super special episode. So Claire's already gotten to see a little bit of their work. And so we will go into them again in this series. But we're probably going to either do them last or second to last because we just did touch on them, briefly, but relatively recently. So if anybody's wondering why the order of them is not necessarily in the order that they debuted, et cetera, it doesn't mean to imply any sort of favoritism or anything like that. It's just what makes sense based on keeping the content fresh.
Okay.
So the last and most recent group to debut is short. It's called WayV, but officially it's Weishen V, and that is basically NCT China. They just have their own little unique name. And they officially debuted just in January of this year, and they have 7 members. Primarily, they're Chinese. So,
Sweet.
yeah, now that we've kind of discussed the subunits, let's drop down on the watch list to the little roster of pictures so you can start kind of taking a look at these handsome young gentlemen and get an idea of who you'll be seeing on some of the videos. Now, luckily, outside of the backstory we've already discussed, there is not a lot of the backstory like there was with EXO.
No, they're not aliens.
No, unfortunately not. There's not, symbols assigned and animals assigned and backstory and superpowers. So this will go.
I am seeing a lot of pink hair.
Oh, yes. They definitely love their colorful hair. Well, we'll start with the NCT 127 members, okay? So on the top row, you've got Taeyong. He is the leader of NCT 127. I think he's pretty much in every single thing that they do, regardless of which other members get swapped out. So you're going to see this young man quite a bit. And he's very talented, so it's not a bad thing.
What's his main talent?
Well, funny you should ask.
Huh.
Not only is he the leader, he's the center/visual. He's also the main rapper, main dancer, and a vocalist.
Dang.
Yeah, so he does a little bit of it all. And it's a lot different than Suho, for example, in EXO. While he's very talented and stuff like that, he definitely wasn't front and center.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be different for this group. Because Taehyung is pretty much always front and center at all times.
I will say, out of all of the images, he definitely has the most intense look.
Yeah.
At least in these pictures.
It's his glam eyeliner.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, he definitely has a very unique look. And that's not the best picture of him. So you'll see more for sure. Not only does he perform all those roles in the group, but he also has written some of the lyrics for NCT songs. And the first song that we are going to listen to, The Seventh Sense, he actually wrote some of those lyrics along with another member, Mark.
All right.
Yeah. So the next one over, we'll start now in age order. This is Taeil. He's the oldest. He is also Korean, just like Taehyung was. And he's a main vocalist. He's talented as well. He can play piano and guitar. So the next one on our list is Johnny. And if it sounds like he has a very American name, that's because he's American. He was born in Chicago.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
He's born and raised in Chicago, and as close as I can tell based on the high school that was listed on his Wikipedia or one of the sites that goes through their bios, he was from Northbrook.
How does one get recruited by a huge group, like entertainment group like SM, from America to be a part of this elite Korean K-pop band?
In SM's global auditions that they held in 2007, he went and auditioned, and between his voice and his dance skills, they picked him up, and the rest is history.
Oh my God.
I should have totally gone out for those auditions.
Exactly. So Johnny can also play piano, and he is awesome with doing different sort of promotions and things for NCT. So for a really long time, he, along with one of the other members, Jae-hyun, they had a radio show called NCT Night Night.
Ooh.
And they would just do little, I think, skits and listen to music and interview other members and do all sorts of random things. I've never really listened to a lot of those. I've just heard little clips that they have shown on other videos. So that ran for quite some time. And he also does somewhat regular YouTube videos called Johnny's Communication Center. And those are really funny. Like, a lot of the funny memes that I've gotten for NCT have come from videos that they post. So it's worth checking out. Pretty funny.
So you're saying that, in contradiction to his serious look, he's actually a goofball at heart?
Yeah, I would say he's definitely a goofball.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks quite serious in that photo, doesn't he? Anyway, so the next one on the list is Yuta. So this is in the middle row, farthest to the left. So Yuta is Japanese, and he is one of the main dancers. He's a rapper and a vocalist, and that's all the information I have on Yuta. But he's very talented. He's got a huge fan base.
Well, that's important.
Definitely. All right, the next on the list is Do Young, so Korean member, and he's a main vocalist. He's actually got a beautiful voice. The only little fun fact I have for him at the moment is that he plays the flute.
Ooh. I wonder if he'll pull us out. Have you guys... All right, sorry, sidebar. Have you been watching any of Lizzo's videos online?
No.
Not her videos, no.
I don't even know who Lizzo is.
Stop! Stop, Catherine. You've got homework.
Catherine, I can't believe it.
I've heard of people talking about Lizzo, but I know not of the Lizzo myself.
Ugh, she's fantastic. And other than being one of, I think, the most popular female rappers to come out of the last couple of years. Yeah, she's sort of the it girl right now. She is a classically trained flautist and will just pull that out and just hypnotize you.
Isn't she pretty proficient in other instruments too, though?
I've only heard her proficiency with flute, but she is, she's got vocals for days.
But she's a rapper?
She's a rapper and a singer.
And singer.
Yeah. And dancer.
And I assume that she wrote most of her songs because she started off, she's independent.
Amazing.
So, she cool.
She's extremely cool, and she's all about body positivity, and she is not apologizing for being just
anything.
Yeah, for anything.
Wow.
She's great.
I'll have to check her out. I just recently started listening to Billie Eilish
Yeah.
songs. Whenever I heard Lizzo, it usually seemed like people referenced also Billie Eilish. So I don't know if there's a...
They're very different.
Huh.
But
But
they
I
are
think-
both the biggest artists right now, I think.
Maybe that's
like
why.
they have
Yeah,
two of
'cause
the
I
most
think-
popular albums that came out this year.
And they're both true musical geniuses. I mean, Billie Eilish is she's like 17,
Yeah.
and she writes her own songs, and they're different and fun and good. And Lizzo obviously is awesome. And
I feel like the only things I listen to anymore are K-pop and a podcast called Futility Closet. I don't know if you guys have listened to that one, but it's really good. So I recommend it, but that is where my ears have been. So I've missed out on any of the new stuff. I'll have to check it out.
I'm going to add that podcast too, since
Oh, yeah. It's
I've
super
got to
good.
commute.
Futility Closet.
what's it about?
So it's like forgotten tales from history. So the first, I don't know, 20 minutes is they go over something that's just like these really incredible stories that you would have never heard about, but they bring in like all the historical references and just kind of tell the story. And then after that, they do some recap or little bits and pieces of stories. And then they do a lateral thinking puzzle where the hosts switch on and off as the one who's got to figure out what the answer is based on just asking yes, no questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Good
And
stuff.
that's educational.
Yeah.
I like that.
I have
Anyway.
just subscribed.
Yay! Let me know what you think. All right. So I think we finished with Do Young because we talked about him playing the flute, which led us down that path. So we'll go next to Jaehyun, who is Korean, but it's kind of also a weird NCT inside joke. But he lived in America for 4 years, you guys. So he's fluent in English. But he is a lead vocalist, a lead dancer, a rapper, and if you couldn't tell by looking at this young man's photo, he's also one of the visuals of the group. He's a very good-looking young man.
I was just gonna say I think he's my bias just because he has the
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't even watched anything, but if I'm gonna choose a bias in this group,
Oh, yeah.
just because of a photo, this is the most approachable, the funnest.
What? I know we haven't gotten to Mark yet, but Mark looks friendly. I was going to say...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong person. You're right. I was thinking of Mark.
A likely story.
But
Sorry.
No,
I
I'm
will
sorry.
say, Jaehyun did anybody watch Gossip Girl, I don't know, a decade ago?
I mean, yes, but
yeah,
I
think
don't.
caught a few.
I feel like Jaehyun is at that boarding school and
Yes.
Yeah,
someone is gossiping about him.
Yeah,
He is the Korean Chuck Bass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's nice. He's not like a sinister little fiend. So English name is Jay, apparently. And like I said, he quote unquote lived in America for 4 years. So he is fluent
Woo.
in English.
What's his study abroad?
Yeah, I think he was late grade school, early junior high. Maybe his parents were transferred. I don't know. But he was in Connecticut and he said it was really boring, which that's
Sounds
pretty
about
much
right.
all I know about Connecticut, and sounds about right to me too. So down on the bottom row, this is my bias. Now, this is not the best photo of this young man, but I was trying to get photos with similar aspect ratios, and this is the only one I could find for him. So this is Jungwoo, and yeah, he's definitely my bias. He's so funny. He's what most of our memes are on the Instagram page. Just a real funny guy, beautiful voice. He is lead vocalist and a lead dancer, and let's see, he can speak Chinese. And he has what's interesting is he has very limited English, but all of the English he does know appears to be funny catchphrases that he pulls out whenever he wants to be really, really funny. So it works great. Oh, and he's always hungry. That's another joke, I guess. So
I relate to that.
Yeah.
All right, so we go to next, which I think is maybe both of your biases based off this initial look. This is Mark. Mark is Canadian, and he is a main rapper and vocalist.
That's why he looks so friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
You're not my buddy pal.
He was in NCT Dream, but just graduated with his most recent birthday at the end of last year and is now NCT 127 full-time.
Like it.
Yep. And then Hei-chan is the last member of NCT 127. Now, he is a current member also of NCT Dream, so he is doing double duty. But he's the maknae of NCT 127. He's a lead vocalist. He actually has a beautiful singing voice. He's a lead dancer, and he is a sub-rapper, which is a new term that I had not heard used as any of the positions in EXO or Blackpink, so that's kind of new to me, but I guess it means he just supports rapping in some way. And he plays the piano. There's actually a video out on YouTube that's like a professional dancer or ballerina or something breaks down Hei-chan's dancing abilities and talks about like what a truly gifted dancer he is. And it's a really interesting video to watch. So if anybody's interested, they should check that out. I believe they also do a similar video on Win-Win, which is a member we'll get to once we get to WayV. But now that we've wrapped up NCT 127, unless you guys have any questions or anything that came out of this, we'll drop down to the next roster.
Sounds good.
All right. NCT Dream. It's next. So like I said, they did have 7 members originally, but now they're down to 6 because Mark graduated. So we have Ranjin, who was the source of a lot of that drama based on Carpool Gate 2019.
Oh, yeah.
But he is one of the Chinese members.
I want to know what he's holding in his hand because right now it looks like it's fruit by the foot.
I think it must be.
No, really?
What else could it be? Unless it's just like a red, yellow, and green streamer.
He's such a little kid eating fruit by the foot. Speaking of which, I ate an entire large bag of fruit chews yesterday.
It
That sounds
you should.
delightful.
It was delightful.
Sounds healthy. It's fruit.
There was nothing healthy about it, but it was good for my soul.
Oh, sometimes you just have to have that.
Yeah.
All right. So Ranjin speaks both Korean and Mandarin and has an understanding of English. And he, in the past, practiced both ballet and contemporary dance. So he's got a little bit of a dancer background.
And yet, interestingly, he's not one of the lead dancers.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I gotta be honest with you, between Ranjin and Chunla, the 2 Chinese members, they only have like one, or at least on the source that I pulled this from, they only had like the one title or the one position while all the others had so many. And I thought that that was a little bit odd. I'm just going to hope that the source maybe just wasn't updated.
Okay.
Yeah.
You keep thinking that.
I know. So the next member on the roster here is Jeno. So he's one of the Korean members. He's a lead dancer, lead rapper, vocalist, and one of the visuals. And he can play guitar. So there you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Next, okay, we've already talked about Hei-chan. So he's also in NCT 127. He's got an excellent voice. So that's pretty much that. And on the bottom row, here's, again, I don't know what is the bottom left-hand corner. Another one of my biases. Jaemin. In NCT Dream, he's definitely my bias. He is Korean. He's a lead dancer, lead rapper, vocalist, and one of the visuals. And can play piano and has done some acting on some online TV shows or dramas. The one thing that was interesting about Jaemin is that in 2017, I actually had to take what I heard was almost the whole year off for some health problems. No other information about what that could have been, but I'm glad SM afforded him the opportunity to do so and then come back, and is a really important member of the group. So, and he's also my bias. So there you go.
Enough said.
Yeah. Next we have Chunla. Now he's one of the Chinese members, a main vocalist, born in Shanghai. Now, what's interesting about him is that he was only a trainee for 2 months, which is almost unheard of before debut. He can play the piano. They say he has a dolphin laugh. So anytime there's like, I don't know, they do lots of different V-Lives and TV shows and videos on YouTube. So anytime you're watching one of those and you hear like a really high-pitched dolphin laugh in the background, that's because something tickled Chunla's funny bone and he's letting you know it. It's kind of cute. And then one other note is like there's kind of a joke, and I don't know how accurate it is, but that Chunla is from a very wealthy family in China. And I think there's a couple reasons for this, but one of them is that he's the only member of NCT that doesn't live in the dorms. His parents bought a house in Korea that he lives at, and so he lives in his own place.
I mean, if I had rich parents who were willing to do that for me, I wouldn't have lived in the dorms either.
That's right. Stinky dorm. Yep, so that's Chunla. And Claire, in that most recent video that we actually watched, Boom, he's the one that had that bright orange coral-colored hair.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So this photo, this is like a slightly older photo, obviously. But, yep, that's him. The last member on the list here is Jisung. He's the maknae Korean main dancer. He's actually an absolutely fantastic dancer, really talented. He's a vocalist and a sub-rapper, so there's that word again. And then the only little fun fact I had for Jisung, besides the fact that he's just like an extraordinary dancer, is that he can understand English, and they say that he could actually speak English fluently if he felt confident enough to do so, but he's very shy, so he just never does. I say a likely story. No, I'm just joking.
Prove it.
Yeah, I would.
Sure.
I mean, if there's no reason to do it and the other members can do it for you, why not just chill?
Oh.
All right. And then moving on. We're almost to we're in the home stretch, you guys, I promise. The next page has our members of WayV, aka NCT in China. So this one's a little different. My bias is on the top left, and that's Kun. He is the leader of WayV. He's a main vocalist and a rapper, and his nickname is Fat Kun. I think that came from because when he first was a trainee, they put him on a weight loss program, and so everyone just started calling him Fat Kun, and they still call him that for some reason, but it's not very
rude.
nice.
Like big pun.
Exactly. But he speaks Chinese and Korean. He plays the piano, and he's very good at magic tricks, you guys. So
Oh no!
a lot of the videos, they have him doing card tricks and other fun things. So yeah, that's Kun.
Well, that's a talent. That's a talent that you can really bring to a group to diversify, what you have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about it.
They could
Really?
get a residency in Vegas if they don't take off in China. For some
Yes.
reason.
This is where this is heading. So they might as well get ready. I must know, Catherine,
Mhm.
of all of your biases for NCT and their subunits, which one is your bias of your biases?
Oh, I really don't know yet. So this whole NCT thing is like just groups of bias wreckers. Just depends on the video you're watching. You're like, okay, now that's my favorite. And then the next music video, you're like, nope, that's my favorite. It's so hard for me. So I'm really interested to see if your opinions change as you start watching some of these videos and where you go with it.
Well, I can tell you who I think is just the absolute dreamiest out of all of these pictures.
Who?
My goodness, Lucas is such a little cutie.
Oh, well, he started out as a model, so I can imagine.
That would be why.
Yeah, Lucas. Everyone loves Lucas. Wait till you see some of the videos. You'll really love Lucas. So before we drop down to there, let's get to 10. All right. So middle of the top row. I'm going to make an attempt at pronouncing his actual name. So it's Chittapon Lishayapon Kun.
Wow, good job.
May have gotten that horribly wrong, but that's the best I can do, you guys. So he is our Thai member. He is very similar to Jisung, just an amazing dancer. Like, has danced his whole life. You can just tell every single move is a work of art. I'm really excited to show you some of the WayV videos so you can kind of experience that for yourself. They also say he's a lead rapper. I don't know that I've seen him rap in any videos, but he's definitely a lead vocalist. Beautiful voice. So that's 10. Next is Win-Win. Win-Win was one of the members that when NCT 127 first debuted, he was actually in NCT 127. And it wasn't until WayV stood up that they kind of moved him out. And that causes a little bit of controversy for some fans still. So he doesn't get a lot of lines, but people love him. He's the visual. So he's definitely exhibits a lot of those characteristics that are super attractive. Well, in any culture, but especially China and Korea. He's also a lead dancer, a vocalist, and like I said, he's the visual. And Win-Win studied for many, many years traditional Chinese dance. So there's some videos of him from like his old Chinese dance school. So it's really impressive. And they've incorporated that into some of their different stage performances and stuff. And so, yeah, I don't think I knew that Chinese dance could be as just amazingly technical as it really is, and that's me being naive or ignorant towards it. So I've really enjoyed watching some of those videos. All right, and then middle row, we got Lucas.
What you've been waiting for, ladies.
Yeah.
Blushing.
Aw. Lucas is from Hong Kong, and he's a main rapper, vocalist, and a center/visual. What do you know? So his name is it's kind of funny the way you pronounce it. It sounds like sushi or zushi. So there's one video, it's really funny, and he's like kind of laughing hysterically, and he goes, "I'm sushi!" That's pretty funny. But he speaks Cantonese, Mandarin, English, Korean, and a little bit of Thai, so pretty smart. Just recently, he became a fixed member of the cast of Running Man China, which is kind of like a variety challenge show that's really popular. They have one in Korea, was where I believe it started, and then moved over to China. And EXO's Lay was also, I believe it was Running Man. I might have gotten it wrong, but it was kind of a similar show that he was a cast member of for several years as well. So Lucas is kind of following in his footsteps, I guess. I'm interested to see if you hold on to your Lucas bias or if it changes as we move forward. So next up, we have Xiao Jun, Chinese member, main vocalist, and rapper. And he plays the ukulele, piano, guitar, and the drums. So a talented musician.
That's fun.
Yeah. Hendry is next. Now, I would say Hendry might be my other bias in WayV. It's kind of a strange picture of him there, but hold your horses. Don't make any assumptions yet. Maybe when you see some of their videos, you might see where I'm coming from. Now, am I saying this right? He's from Macau, which is like a territory of China. Whenever they talk about Hendry, they say he's from Macau, not necessarily China like the other members. So I don't know if it's a similar situation to Hong Kong and Taiwan or what.
Not the same, I don't think. I'm being really ignorant right now. I probably shouldn't talk about it. But Macau is kind of the one that is really has adopted a lot of Russian.
I thought it was
No.
Portuguese.
Oh.
You are right. Because Macau is where the racetracks are and like the casinos, right?
Yeah, it's the biggest gambling capital in the world.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
But it was heavily influenced by the spice trade and like the Portuguese shipping route.
Top Chef just did their finale there last season. Yes.
Dang.
You are right. And it had a lot of Portuguese influence.
Ooh, also, did anyone else think that Hendry was a name that should have been in the Harry Potter series and that I would have pronounced wrong?
It's an interesting name for sure. I don't know what the background is there, but Hendry, well, that's what they call him. I guess his birth name was Kunheng, Wang Kunheng. So I don't know where Hendry came from. Stage name or something.
It's his Pottermore name.
Oh, Pottermore. I like it. All right. So next up on the list, hanging down on the bottom row by himself, last but not least, we have our youngest member. I guess we can call him our maknae, even though it's technically a Chinese group. This is Yang Yang. He moved to Germany when he was 11, and he lived there for 6 years. So he speaks Chinese, German, English, Korean, and a little bit of Spanish.
Dang.
Yeah, and he's a lead dancer, vocalist, and he also plays the violin.
They got some talented people in these lineups.
They sure do, don't they? Pretty impressive, especially when they're so young. And I'm like, I can tie my shoes.
I can speak a really, really, really elementary form of Spanglish.
Exactly. Well, so that's the lineup, you guys. What do you think? We know Lucas and WayV sounds like, at least Caitlin, that's your initial, just on what we know of and what we can see so far. That's your bias. I'm going to write these down.
No, Lucas for his appearance. Mark seems like the most fun just because of his photo.
No, wait. You're getting ahead of me. I want to do this by group. So Caitlin and WayV, you were thinking that maybe it's Lucas.
Yeah.
How about you, Claire? Do you have even someone you could say at first, like, oh, this kind of appeals to me?
Just based on picture, win-win for sure.
Aww.
He's doing this covering my eye type of. I feel as someone who's seeing impaired, I'm just like, yes, I would also put the hand in front of my eye to get a better.
Read the bottom row.
Yep.
I like it. All right. So how about NCT Dream? Now, this one is a little harder because we didn't have as much information, I suppose. If you had to, just based off of what you do know, who would you guess might be your bias in NCT Dream? This is for science, by the way.
100% Hey Chen for me.
Well, yeah, because you are a little familiar with them.
I mean, not only that, but this photo is so adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I think this is actually quite lovely. Because it's the younger group, I find Hey Chen to look a little innocent and, I don't want to say androgynous, but just there's something very beautiful about his photo.
He does. He does have a beautiful face.
I know. I'm sort of like, gosh, that's a very beautiful person. And then I thought, like, could I do my hair that way?
I think you could carry it.
You could.
So you could do anything.
Thanks. Thank you.
Caitlin, what do you think?
Oh.
Fruit by the foot.
I mean, I do love some fruit snacks, but I think that I would probably choose, just based on your description, Ji-sung, because I want to try to catch him in the act of speaking English.
Yeah, okay. All right. And so then moving up to NCT 127. Mark for both of you, I think.
Yeah, he's the most fun looking.
All right. Okay. So get a drink of water, take a stretch. Let's move on. That was all of the members so far. Our first music video that we're going to watch is NCT U's debut single, The Seventh Sense. Now, we're going to watch the actual music video, but if you guys think that this is a catchy song and you're into it, I 100% recommend watching the link right below it, the performance video, where you get to see their whole dance. It's very good.
Okay.
The members that are in it are Taeyong, Mark, Jaehyun, Doyoung, and Ten. Okay?
Okay.
All right. If you girls are ready.
I'm so ready to watch a video.
Yes. We will mute, and I will see you on the other side.
All right.
All right.
Bam.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes. All right. So.
You know, I'm glad that you sort of reminded us who the members were, because with all of the strong color overlays,
Yes.
Hard
and
to see.
I couldn't tell who was who. They were in the dark. They were so far away.
Yeah, with the red lighting. Yeah.
It
That's
was
hard.
lighting.
It was a little difficult. So if there was, by any chance, you remembered a specific part or what somebody was wearing, I might be able to help.
Yes. Okay. Who was at second 31 where there was this like pink and orange cloud vape smoke over the face?
Okay, that is Doyoung. I am 90% sure.
And then continuing on,
Mm-hmm.
who was, I guess it's easier to tell at second 132, 33, but once he's in shadow at 135, who dat?
Okay, wearing like a hood with a baseball cap.
Yes.
That's Taeyong. That's leader. So he's also the one that is wearing that white headband in like the little glass box.
Oh,
with
the
bright
telephone
white
booth.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's also the one in the dance moves that's wearing a beanie, like a little elf hat in the front. So that's
Okay,
all
what about
Taeyong.
it? What about 206?
All right, that's Mark with the beret in the shower stall.
Yes.
So
okay.
that's Mark. Yep, he's the one that does that nice rap breakdown right before he like for some reason puts his foot up on the shower stall. wall.
Yes. that was like my go-to surprise move where I was like, I would do that.
Mhm.
Look how flexible I am, guys.
Look how long my legs are.
No,
Do you like
he's
my chinos?
What did you like the song in general, or were you kind of like, what's happening, and not really picking up on the song so much?
I'm not as big on the song,
Okay.
but I did enjoy the dance breaks. It seemed like a good step up from, I'm going to get hate mail, Blackpink. As much as I loved Blackpink and I loved their dancing, and I think those ladies are awesome, the dancing in this video seemed to be a bit more technical and a bit more impressive. And maybe part of that is just because of the gender, norms, because a lot of Blackpink's was very sexy and about the hip moves and whatever. And these were.
You didn't like the hip move at minute 244?
Oh, wait, let me check it out.
That was-
with the hand.
Oh,
The
yes,
hand?
I do remember seeing that.
That is like an awesome move. I think that's funny. They have
That
some
was
pretty
great.
sweet body rolls throughout. I'm not going to force you guys to watch it, but if you're maybe on the fence, watch the performance video later. And I think when you get to see the full dance, it might give you a new appreciation for it. And especially because they are such talented dancers. They're synchronized like crazy. So it's an impressive performance video.
I did like how in this style of shooting their video, they did a lot of wide angle shots. So you got all of them and you got all the dance moves. Whereas I felt like with EXO did a lot of very fast transitions. And you almost couldn't appreciate because they were too zoomed in to see what they were actually doing in some of their dance moves.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it was like collectively, you could see them all hit these particular dance moves. The choreography, mesmerizing.
I definitely agree with you.
So I'm curious, what's everyone's favorite transitional shot? For me, it's definitely Mark in the bathroom stall.
I love the one with Taeyong in the hoodie and the hat, the one that you were asking about.
Yeah.
What about you, Caitlin?
I think I'm going to have to, I was going to go along with Mark because that's just a fun outfit and it's also the best lighting, so I was able to see him.
Yeah.
and like start to familiarize myself with his face and his features. Although, who's the guy that was dressed up in the? He was a rapper, so it was 233, but it was very much like a
10. Yeah, that little like pop move that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really smooth move. But that's 10, the one with red bandana.
Yeah. Let's do one more video.
All right, let's drop down to Boss. This is a good place to stop.
Okay.
All right. So we'll pause, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew.
Hopefully, Caitlin, you can see why I wanted you to watch this before we ended, because it's got so much Lucas in it! And Mark.
Our two favorites.
So, thoughts?
Oh my God, there was this one scene with the chairs.
Lucas.
Oh my gosh. I was like, okay, you have all of my attention.
This is a very well stylized video. Just the setting is kind of a work of art, and I believe it's shot in the Ukraine.
Which is why they wore turtlenecks this time.
And like a lovely houndstooth blazer on Taeyong, I believe.
Yes.
Who is the person at I think it's like right between 131, 132. It's the blonde guy with the white turtleneck.
That's Lucas.
That's Lucas?
That's Lucas.
I didn't notice his
boy.
ears.
Well, I was waiting for one of the NCT members to have colored contacts, and I felt like they delivered on this video.
That does not... Okay. So I find him less attractive right there than I do in the video.
Is it because of the thick turtleneck?
No, it's because of the ears, and it looks like he's got lip injections.
Yeah, they definitely played up those lips.
Yeah.
It got that glossy lip gloss.
Glossy.
Glossing.
This is also the first video where we get to my bias, Jungwoo, but in this one, he's got very, very dark black hair, so it's not necessarily recognizable with the other photos that we saw, but Jaehyun looks great. What can I say?
Like Baekhyun's more recent solo video that he did, I felt as though the location that they were shooting at was very high-end, could very much be in an Architectural Digest magazine.
Oh, yeah, the interior shots especially, yeah.
The painted ceilings that they walked by.
Yes. Also just like a spiral staircase for days and a conservatory. Oh, my word. What was the smoke monster coming out of the ceiling?
When it was the big circle?
Yeah, big circle. And then all of a sudden...
I thought that was like the moon. I mean, it's like a transparent, but it looks like it has crater holes and things.
Okay, I'm going to have to rewatch that. I felt like I saw smoke monster coming out.
Ooh. Well, it's like moving, so I don't know. You could kind of interpret it however you want.
I've got another question. Who is 152?
That's Mark, sitting up on top of like a block or something. So
yeah. He had some fun parts.
Yeah,
Mark
he does a great job when he gets his little rap solos. And then also, speaking of rap solos, this is where you get your first taste of Taeyong's growly singing voice, which is really cool.
Get ready.
I heard some really beautiful vocals in here, and unfortunately I couldn't, they didn't picture someone lip syncing to them, so I couldn't tell who it was, but there was some really beautiful singing in it.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're referring to, and that was Do-young. And it might have been a little bit of Jungwoo, too. Out of the members that are featured here, I think they are more vocalists than rappers in most cases. So, yeah.
It was fun.
I like this song, too, because there was a lot of chorus singing. Mm-hmm. Everyone joined in, and there was some harmonization.
Yeah, and that's where I think you get to hear Do-young's voice quite a bit. Yeah, so I like the dance. I think, again, great choreography. They are just synchronized as all get out. This is a fun one when you watch their stage performances too. They always do an awesome job, and they've got awesome costumes on. They're kind of military themed. That's another one to watch for, yourselves or any of our listeners who might like this song and want to pick up some other watches. Yeah.
Wow. What a great introduction. There's so much more to watch.
Oh, yeah. They're a super talented group, and there is a lot there. And if I was a betting man, I would say that you guys are going to enjoy most of their stuff, because a lot of their songs are just real catchy.
I'm excited. I was nervous going into this because I thought I'd be overwhelmed, but so far I feel like I'm going to be able to handle it. So thank you for introducing us and giving us such clear descriptions. So now I can start already learning who the characters are, who the singers are.
Start kind of making those connections and stuff. Yeah, I was trying to make it as easily digestible as possible so that instead of putting you off, you could kind of just enjoy it. So that's our episode 1 of NCT. So,
Well, okay.
yeah. All right, quick business. For any of our listeners who are interested in seeing our watch list, getting links to social media, email address, anything like that, please head over to our website, kokopop.com. You can check us out on Instagram and Twitter. The same for both of them. It's kokopop_podcast. We record every 2 weeks, so we will be back with NCT episode 2, where we'll go into a few more NCT U songs and some NCT 127 songs.
Yay!
So excited.
Well, thanks, girls, for hopping on with me tonight. I really appreciate it. And I always
Of course.
enjoy the opportunity to watch more NCT because I love this group. And hopefully you guys will too.
We will, I'm sure.
Glad we could help feed your addiction to NCT.
Oh, well,
Enabler.
you are my enablers, and I appreciate it. Thanks again. Thanks to all our listeners, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye, K-poppers.
Oh, bye.